In this episode of Disco Life,
we'll introduce ourselves to you and we're going to talk to you about our discovery.
We're going to talk to you about how we discovered our disco.
Hi, I'm Nathan. I've always been pretty interested in cars since I was pretty young, actually. It's definitely developed a lot more since then. I read car magazines all the time. I also watch some YouTube videos about cars.
Hi, I'm Ange. You'll hear me commonly referred to as Mom in these videos. So how did I get involved in this crazy disco journey?
Hi, my name's Andrew. I have been wanting a truck for a long time now.
hi, my name is Emily and I am not into cars.
We've been in the market for a four-wheel drive vehicle for many years, casually.
For doing things on the weekend and doing things, fun. I wanted a truck. So we were doing a staycation and we were going to a spot that we try to hit a couple times a year.
A cute little town along a bay.
We had just gotten some ice cream when we were just walking around on the streets, not really looking for anything anymore. And we found this car. And Dad really liked it. It said it was for sale. It had the phone number taped to the back.
And I was like, oh, pointed it out because I had just been in the habit of pointing out any truck that interested me in any way that had a for sale sign on it. I think Ange was starting to get kind of annoyed by that. But she was like, yeah, you should go look at it. I'm like, well, never thought about Land Rover. Never thought about a Discovery. Never thought we could afford them. It doesn't hurt to look, right? So we go over and look. So I took a picture of the number. She said I should call and find out because it didn't have the price listed. I hemmed and hawed for a little while.
And at that point, I thought that would be the end of it.
And then we went to the beach.
I didn't really like the beach. There was sea life everywhere. I don't really like ocean creatures that much, I'm gonna be honest.
Got our chairs set up and went in the water, cooled off, had a nice time. But we kept talking about the Discovery. And finally I had just said to Andrew, call the guy. And my thought was that the price was going to be too high. And that would be the end of the conversation.
And I decided, well, it doesn't hurt to make a phone call. And the gentleman called me back pretty quickly, not even 5 minutes, and told me a little bit about it. I had a couple questions. It turned out it had 216,000 miles on it, and they were looking for about $3,600. At that price, that was, very interesting.
The price was well within what we would hope to spend on such a vehicle.
But I didn't know anything about Land Rovers, and I didn't know anything about Land Rover Discoveries. So I started looking as best I could on the internet things, and it looked like it was reasonably priced. So decided to take it for a test drive.
And we saw him go by, actually.
Again, I figured after the test drive, this would be off the table and not something that we would pursue.
It drove really well. I had no issues with it.
So when he got back, he said it was really nice and everything. So then we headed back home. Dad said he might buy it. He kept on asking me questions about like the brand's reputation and stuff like that.
We got home and I started looking online and certainly found a lot of information on the internet about the pros and cons of buying a used Land Rover Discovery.
A Land Rover is not a vehicle that we had considered as we were casually looking for a four-wheel drive vehicle over the past few years. I don't know why.
So when we found the Disco, it was just by happenstance. Just happened to see it for sale on the side of the road, and just thought, hey, that's cool.
But when we happened upon it for sale on the street, we kind of went through our checklist of what it was we were looking for in a vehicle. We wanted a four-wheel drive vehicle. We wanted a good amount of cargo space. We wanted room for friends to come along.
We do have some ambitions to tow things every now and then, so it's got to be able to tow something.
We wanted a vehicle that was in reasonably good repair. And we also wanted a vehicle that Andrew and Nathan could work together on as sort of a hobby. So, as we were talking about the Discovery, we came to realize that it did check all of our boxes. When Andrew test drove on Saturday, the seller indicated that he would have the vehicle inspected in its home state, which was not our state, on Monday.
So I talked to the owner on a Monday after the inspection was done, and it passed that state's inspections with no problems.
And then talk started to go from if we get the Landy to when we get the Landy.
But after doing a lot of research and finding out what the hit on the insurance was going to be, and just thinking about it, talking about it with Ange and the kids, we finally decided to do it.
Dad said he was going to get it.
So we did have some negotiation we wanted to do.
Lowered the price a little bit, got a rack thrown on for the back. All in all, thought it was a pretty good deal.
Right, so this is the vehicle. Looks very rugged compared to a lot of today's SUVs, actually. Very off-roady. Considered very off-roady, actually, in fact. And it's definitely green, though for some reason people in this family don't think it's green. It's gray. Okay, fine. Grayish green, but it's still more green if you ask me. Alright, so this is the inside. Brakes here, throttles here, obviously. Cup holders, neat features that Dad probably needs to know to fit his water bottle. The cup holders, they can be like this, but if you move this out, it gets bigger, so that helps. Shifter, diff lock, and low range, high range, neutral 4-wheel drive. Radio, which was actually aftermarket from the buyer, from who we bought it from. And then this is like the sunblock thing, and you can actually put your phone up here. Dad does it when he's driving. So this is the sunroof. The sunroof's probably controlled through here, though I'm not sure it works. So this is a whole mess of controls: downhill descent control, the air springs that we no longer have, the two blinking light thing, hazard lights, and some AC. And there's a bunch of there's a bunch of windshield wipers and cruise control, and the lighting's over here, and also gas and parking assist, I think. Controls for the windows are over here, and then this is the handbrake. So the back seat, basically a place to sit. It has, so in the middle seat there's a thing that folds down. It has cup holders. It actually makes the headrest go down. Sorry, just learned a thought. Alright, so in here, this is the trunk. This is where we're gonna keep the dogs and our stuff when we head to the beach. Well, actually, probably the one dog, not the other one. But, yeah. So that right there is the coolant reservoir. That is the exhaust manifold, and behind it you can see the air intakes. Then that is the coolant hose, and the fan and radiator are under that little covering. And then that's the AC slash, air thing. Power steering fluid, and this is the hydraulics for the brakes, and then this is the brake fluid. And that's the air pump. Not sure what that is, actually.
It's windshield washer fluid.
Oh.
So we knew we were gonna have to do some work to it. Weren't sure what kind of work, but we knew. And that's part of, like I said, that's part of why we bought it. We wanted something we could work on. So we did. We got something we can work on. We're working on it. We're gonna get it where we want it. And it's gonna be good.
And see, I knew a lot of stuff about cars, like the engine types, drivetrains, all that. I didn't really know like the components of them, so the fact that we got this car that we're working on now is pretty nice. So Nate's really interested, and so am I, in learning about how to fix these things up. And so we're going to be the primary mechanics, if you will, trying to do our best, using the internet as a guide for sure. There's lots of great people out there that I've encountered so far. So it's going to be a journey.
But I am excited because I like going to the beach and places like that, and that's what we got this for. I'm not excited for doing the repairs though. I'm excited for after that.
I'm very happy that we got it. It's a very nice vehicle, actually.
So, as I mentioned before, I really don't have any automotive experience. So, working on this is completely new. I'm learning as I go. So is Nate, so is Ange, so is Emily. We're all learning how to do all of this as we go along. We're certainly not going to do everything right the first time. You'll probably see that. We're going to make mistakes. If you see something we're doing that's wrong, or you have a better way of doing it, please reach out, send some suggestions. It's not just for us, but anybody else who's watching. You might know something or have a trick that could help anyone out. So don't hold back. Give us suggestions. We'd greatly appreciate them.
So the next step is to get it inspected in our home state. More to come on that inspection in a future video, but that's the story of how we came to own our Land Rover Discovery.
It's a lot of us talking this video, but going forward, we're going to have a lot more of us hands-on with the disco, or the disco in action. So it'll be a lot less us talking, a lot more the disco kind of showing you what it's made of. So
If you enjoyed this video, please click like below, and if you'd like to follow us along the rest of our journey, please subscribe to our channel.
Hello.